In the past 30 days, my company has closed more in contracts than we had throughout the lifetime of the business. We've been in business for 18 months. Let me tell you something interesting. The first 13 businesses that I started, they didn't amount to anything, all because I couldn't stop procrastinating. That was until I devoted all my time, effort, and attention to solving this problem. And let me tell you something, this system that I use so damn good, it's literally what I sell. Remember the contracts that I told you? I'm gonna give you the entire system A through Z. Forget about the shiny objects. Put this video in full screen and watch it all the way to the end. 99% of the human population basically lives their life picking the path of least resistance. And the thing is, we are going to do the same exact thing. I have personally, one-on-one, consulted with over 100 plus entrepreneurs just on the topic of improving their focus, lowering the delta between their ideas and their execution. Let me tell you something. Most of these people do not care about habits, tactics, strategies. That's what most people tell you. Or you need to have this habit that you need to build over years. It's their environment. So what you want to do is, you remember what I told you about the path of least resistance? You want to make sure that all the current paths of least resistance that you're taking, you do not take anymore. So again, one of the very famous examples that you guys might be familiar with is going to be YouTube. Okay, you guys are on this platform right now. I don't want any of you to give me this excuse, okay? This means that the path of least resistance, okay, one of those for you is YouTube. You want to block it or limit it to some degree on all your devices. First things first, you guys are watching a long form piece of content, but block all the shorts on your feed. There's extensions out there that can do this for you. Second thing you want to do, remove the recommended. So the recommended page you want to completely get rid of, because again, right now your problem is not information. I bet you've probably consumed more information than a lot of entrepreneurs that are ahead of you. But the thing is, you just can't execute. By the way, this can go for literally anything in any device, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're using your phone, that's my phone drawing right there. It doesn't matter if you're using your laptop, if it's Instagram, whatever it is that lies in the path of least resistance. And let me give you a pro tip, okay? When you eliminate YouTube, I'm saying when, so you actually do it. Yes, I know, it's gonna hurt my channel because all my viewers are not gonna be on YouTube, but you know what? It's gonna be better for you than it is for me. So please just do it. Once you eliminate one of these, you'll realize that the path of least resistance will take you to another. So it'll be a process. It'll take you maybe a few days, maybe even a few weeks. Sometimes for most people, because they just can't decide quick enough, takes them a few months, and then you will eventually have an environment where the path of least resistance isn't what it is for 99% of people. Now the question is, how do you make the path of least resistance the thing that will actually make you a shitload of money? That's the question. And the answer to that question I will tell you in a moment. But basically what you want to do is you want to ensure that work is your path of least resistance. The way that you actually do that is you ensure that your work, number one, is the right type of work, okay? Because let me tell you something, first things first, a lot of entrepreneurs that are further ahead, especially those entrepreneurs I've seen this problem in, it's the work that they do that is a distraction that the actual work that needs to be done. I'll say that one more time. The work that they do is the distraction from the work that needs to be done. What does that mean? It means that fixing your landing page, building a new offer, chasing a shiny object is not what's going to grow your business. What you need to do is, again, the right type of work. And the right type of work is usually what? Advertising. Advertising is what most entrepreneurs need to do to scale their businesses. It's the constraint of most businesses. It's actually advertising. So again, how do you ensure that the path of least resistance is advertising? You want to make sure that this work never gets done. You don't even want to count it as work. And again, so this is the bigger picture. Let me tell you about the tactic. By the way, I don't want to hear any of this bullshit. Oh, I don't think this will work for me. This system we have literally installed for over 100 plus entrepreneurs. I've used this system for years. Heck, every single person that we hire joins our company because they love this system so damn much. Okay, so I'm about to show you everything. I'm not holding anything back. You want to install it for yourself, be my guest. But do not say it doesn't work because it's literally tried and tested. This is just objectively the best system in the world. So again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to ensure that work is the path of least resistance. We want to do that. I'm going to tell you about the 3 systems that you need to have. So the first tactical system that you want to install for yourself is going to be an EOD system. Okay, what is an EOD system? EOD stands for end of day. Okay, let me tell you exactly how this works. There's a Loom recording, or if you're cheap like me, you can use Nito Record, which by the way is just as good. Every single night, use one of these two softwares to record a video where you are breaking down 3 hits in your EOD loop. You break down these 3 hits. What is a hit? A hit is a high impact revenue generating task. What is it related to? What did I say before? Advertising, okay? It has to be advertising. If it's not I can't even spell. If it's not advertising, it's not work. By the way, you want to break this down into micro steps, okay? Micro steps is key here because, again, if you have absolutely nothing else to do, you don't have YouTube, you don't have Instagram, you don't have TikTok, you don't have bullshit work, you will just resort to doing nothing, which, by the way, we can reverse with the next system. I'll get into that in a moment. But the micro steps help so much with it because then you know exactly what to do. It's not like I have to launch my Facebook ads. It's, I have to open my Meta business account and then I have to go to Meta ads library or something. And then, when it's broken down into simpler steps, things are just easier to do. Now, here's the thing, okay? This is the second system. We call it the CAB system, okay? CAB stands for Compass Action Block. Compass is the name of my company. You can remove the C. Okay, there you go, abs, okay? You got, your little stomach here, I don't know. But a CAB, basically what a CAB is, it's a 5-50-5 structure, okay? So you have the first 5 minutes, you have the 50 minutes, and then you have the 5 minutes, okay? This is what you want to do. You want to commit to doing at least 4 of these per day, okay? You want to do 4 of these or 10 of these or 15 of these like I like doing. I like doing at least 8 per day. And I'm always ramping them up. But a CAB basically goes 5 minutes. And by the way, this and this, these are both videos here, okay? So you have this. Remember we talked about the loom and the needle? You record a video. Yes, it sounds excessive. Do you want to be rich or not? You can be a procrastinating broke person. You can keep enjoying these videos. You can keep watching videos about how to scale sales teams. But I guarantee you, you will never have a sales team because you can't execute. Until you're able to execute, you will never have the liberty of applying the information that you spent so much time gathering. So yes, it might sound overkill, but this is what you do. You record. And by the way, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes. It just has to be at least 20 seconds. This 20 seconds, what do? You go to your EOD. You go to the 3 hits that you had, okay? You're like, okay, I'm going to work on micro step A, micro step B. Then you start the 50-minute timer. When the timer finishes, you record the loom demonstrating what you actually did, okay? So this video, again, it also has to be at least 20 seconds long. And you basically record it showing exactly what you did. And then, you know what you do? You do it all over again, okay? And then you keep doing this again and again. This is essentially an action block that is repeatable, that is paired with the third main system, which I believe is the most important system. Where's my eraser? Again, the third tactical system, it's accountability. So accountability is basically what we provide. The company that I basically own, that I run, sells accountability. Why do I sell accountability? I'm just going to tell you why accountability is important. Because right now we have an excess of information. There's people that sell courses, but nobody actually sells an element to execution. And the key to execution is accountability. Without accountability, you will never execute. What is accountability? Accountability, according to me, in my personal humble opinion, it's not very humble because I literally own a goddamn accountability company. But basically it's split into 2, okay? There's this right here. Again, you're looking at my beautiful drawing. This is not an ice cream, this is a carrot. That's the carrot, that's the stick. You, my friend, in a very respectful way, are this donkey right here, okay? You got your little ears, okay? You got your little nose here. It looks like a sad Mormon girl, but whatever. You are the donkey. You want to up the carrot, you want to increase the carrot, what you're going after, and you want to increase the stick. Okay, so if you don't do your work, if you don't actually execute on the task at hand, you get the stick, you get whooped on the ass. That's it. This is what accountability is. If you increase the carrot and increase the stick, and by the way, let me tell you something. Both of these have very intricate sciences. I've studied all the firms. For example, if you look at big consulting firms like McKinsey, like Goldman Sachs, all these institutions are stick institutions, okay? They're very scrutinous, they're punishment-based. So this is reward, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is punishment, okay? So they're very punishment-based. People there want to kill themselves, but they make a shitload of money. You know why? Because the stick is much more effective effective. It's much more repeatable and it's much more effective than the carrot. The carrot long term will lead you to fulfillment. But again, the stick will build you. Like, what's your goal? What do you want to do? But let me tell you a meta secret, okay? I don't usually tell people this. But when you beat yourself up with the stick, you also get the carrot. You know why? Because the work works on you more than you work on it. When you become a disciplined individual, when you look in the mirror, you're like, I built a big fucking business because I was able to execute, because I installed systems of accountability for myself. That is the carrot. The donkey becomes the carrot. So you look at yourself in the mirror, you are fulfilled with who you are because you were able to stick yourself. Now again, this is bigger picture. I want to give you very, very tactical micro steps. We have coaches and then we have clients. Now, as I said before, I don't want to sell you a course. I don't want to sell you a coaching program. So how do we do it without the coach? Okay, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I did when I didn't have enough money to have a coach. You basically have two options. You don't have an accountability coach. You can either do it with your business partner. Now, this is what I did. So basically, I had a business partner, okay, and what I did is I entered into a binding agreement with him where if I didn't submit my EOD loom, if I didn't complete a certain number of cabs, and if I didn't meet my deadlines, I would lose equity to my business partner, okay? So this is him, this is me, okay? And we had this pool of equity. Let's say it was 100%. If I didn't do what I said I was gonna do, he was gonna get part of my company, okay? So let's say I had 50 and he had 50. I would be left with 45 and he would be left with 55. This is a very easy way to do it. Another way that you could do it is enter into a contract, not with your business partner, but with God, okay? I've done it this way as well. So this is for you religious folks out there. If you have some sort of binding wordage in your religion, like for example, I come from an Islamic background. In Islam, we have wallahi. So you basically swear in the name of Allah. I entered essentially into a contract with God where I said that I will finish this or else I will have to do XYZ action. But the thing is, again, will you do XYZ action is the real question. 99% of people can't even keep their word to themselves. Forget something external. But if you can make this work, I'm telling you, it's a superpower. And by the way, the reason why the systems I told you that I showed you before were so simple, because it actually doesn't really matter what system you have. Let me tell you a secret. Most systems work. I'm sure you probably downloaded some sort of productivity app. You maybe at 3 a.m. started doing push-ups. You're like, I'm going to change my life. You look in the mirror. You're like, oh, I'm going to change my life. You build out a routine. You do everything. You're like, oh, I'm going to drink this much water a day. I'm going to work this much. And then my business is going to scale to this certain point. And then what happens? What happens after a week? What happens, heck, after 3 days? Forget that. What happens after 24 hours? Nothing. Because you don't have accountability. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You need accountability. And you have those two simple systems that I had that, again, are objective. Like either the video is there or it's not. You can't say, oh, I kind of did it. I kind of did this much work. And by the way, you know what we talked about? What was the first point? Your environment, right? You can basically attach accountability to your environment as well. You can enter into a contract with your business partner, or you can enter into a contract with God that you won't change your environment back to what you had it as before. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked the video, like the video. Goodbye.